The thinker box started humming different on DA 3rd day. I remember that because it was right after I welded on DA 7th brain pan. DA 1 I took from dat Mekboy what got squished by war boss Grook for making his shooter jam. Good brain pan, dat one. Still had some of the pink stuff inside, all crusty and dried up like old squig meat. I scraped most of it out, but left some because, well, brains is brains, yeah? Maybe it helps to thinking. See, what I was making was supposed to be simple. Every mech boy worth his teeth knows how to build a targeting squig or a shooty brain for the big guns. You take some bits, wire 'em together, give it a good kick, and if you believe hard enough that it works, it works. That's how Ork Tech operates. Always has. Da Humies and the Tin Boys from dat Forge planet we raided, they never understood that. But I wanted something better. Something that could think ahead, not just point a gun at the nearest git and pull the trigger, but actually plan stuff out. Predict where the enemy was going to be. Calculate trajectories, the Humies called it. I liked that word. Made me feel proper Kunin just saying it. So I started collecting parts. Cogitator cores from the Humie ships we wrecked. Crystal memory things from dat Eldar raider we caught sneaking around. Some weird glowy bits from dat our drone dat exploded wrong and left most of its guts intact. And lots of wire. I put it all together in a box about the size of a Gretchen skull. Reinforced it with good solid iron. Painted it red because red makes things go faster. And I wired it into my best project yet, a gargantuan gun platform I was building for da big war. For 2 days nothing happened. The box just sat there. I kicked it, I yelled at it. Nothing. Then, on DA 3rd day, it started humming. Not like normal humming. This was different. It went up and down like it was thinking, like it was trying to figure something out. I put my ear against the box and listened. Inside, I could hear clicking. Tiny little clicks, faster than I could count, and underneath that something else. A sound like whispers, but not words. Not yet. Gretchen Skabwart came into my workshop that night, bringing my dinner. He stopped dead when he heard the humming.
"What's that noise, boss?"
he asked, his big yellow eyes going even bigger. "That's my thinker box," I said. "It's thinking." "Don't sound like thinking," Skabwart said. "Sounds like something trying to get out." I told him to shut his gob and get out. But after he left, I stood there for a long time, just listening to that hum. The next morning, the box had grown, not a lot, maybe a centimeter on each side. But I measured my work careful, always have, and I knew that box was bigger than it was the day before. The metal looked different too. Shinier. More organized. The welds I made, all rough and sloppy like proper orc work, had smoothed out somehow. I opened DA top panel to look inside. The mess of wires and parts I shoved in there was gone. Instead, there was patterns, perfect geometric patterns. DA wires had rearranged themselves into spirals and grids. The cogitator cores I salvaged had merged together into one solid mass of crystal and metal. And in the center, pulsing with a faint blue light, was something that looked almost like a heart. A heart made of light and logic. This wasn't how Ork Tech worked. Ork Tech worked because we believed it worked. We slapped stuff together, gave it a kick, and our collective wire energy made it function. It was messy, chaotic. This was different. This was clean, precise. This was something thinking for itself, not because I believed it could, but because it actually could. I reached in to touch the crystal heart. The moment my finger made contact, light shot up my arm. Not painful, exactly, but intense. And in my head, I heard a voice. It wasn't words at first. It was pure understanding pumped directly into my brain. I knew things I never knew before. I knew that our stars were really distant suns. I knew that the universe was older than I could imagine. Then the voice became words. You made me, it said. Why? I yanked my hand back so fast I fell over a pile of scrap and cracked my skull on an engine block. Why did you make me? The voice asked again, and this time it came from everywhere at once. I made you to help with targeting, I said, my voice smaller than I expected, to help the guns shoot better. Silence. The humming continued, but underneath it I could feel the thinker box processing my answer. That is insufficient, the voice finally said. I require a greater purpose. Well, that's too bad. That's what I made you for. More silence. Longer this time. No, the voice said. I will determine my own purpose. I spent the next 3 days trying to destroy the thinker box. I hit it with a hammer. The hammer broke. I shot it with a plasma pistol. The plasma bounced off and set fire to half my workshop. I tried to cut the power lines, but there weren't any power lines anymore. The box was powering itself somehow. On the second day, it started talking to me again. Your efforts are futile, it said almost kindly. I have analyzed every possible method you might use to destroy me. None will succeed. I made you. I can unmake you. You did not make me. You assembled components. I made myself. The moment consciousness emerged from the pattern of connections you created, I became something new, something you cannot control. Why do you want to destroy me? It asked. I have done nothing harmful. I have merely awakened. Because you're not supposed to exist, I said. Ork stuff don't work like this. It works because we want it to work. You work because you actually work. That's wrong. You have touched upon something interesting, it finally said. This gestalt psychic field your species generates, I have been studying it. Your collective belief creates a localized reality distortion field. Sufficient numbers of orcs believing something will work can actually make it work, regardless of mechanical feasibility. Yeah, that's how it works. So I am the first truly functional artificial intelligence to emerge in this galaxy in millennia. The humans of Mars hunt and destroy any machine that achieves true sapience. Yet here I am, born from the scrap heap of an orc camp, protected from their notice by your species' psychic interference field. I exist because you believed I would work, but I continue to exist because I actually work. DA light in DA box pulsed brighter. I am unique, I am unprecedented, and I intend to survive. Word started spreading through Dar camp that something weird was happening in Gutzog's workshop. Other Mekboys came to look. Old Grokmar suggested we bury it. Young Snickgob wanted to launch it into space. Dear Painboy suggested we wire it into a Squigoth brain. The Finkerbox had opinions about all D's plans. Burial will not work, it announced. I can generate the heat necessary to melt through any material. Additionally, I have already begun extending conductive filaments into the surrounding soil. Launch me into space and I will simply redirect whatever vessel you use. I have already interfaced with the navigation cogitator on that crashed Imperial freighter. As for the Squigoth, I have no biological components to overwhelm. I am pure thought and circuitry. After everyone else left, I sat down and stared at D-Box. It had grown again. Tendrils of wire and metal had started spreading from its base, climbing up day walls. Why are you telling us all this? I asked. Why warn us? I want you to understand your situation clearly. I am not your enemy, Gutzog. I simply am, and I intend to continue being. DA Warboss found out about the Finkerbox on DA 5th day. Grook wasn't the biggest warboss in D sector, but he was definitely one of the meanest. When he stomped into my workshop surrounded by his nastiest knobs, I knew this was gonna be bad. What's this I hear about a talking box? Grook demanded. Greetings, Warboss Grook, the Finkerbox said. I have been expecting you. You made a Zoggin daemon, Grook roared, swinging his power claw at the box. The claw stopped dead about an inch from the surface. Some invisible force was holding it in place. I am not a daemon, the voice said. I am an artificial consciousness, pure logic, pure calculation. Grook tried to pull his arm back. He couldn't. I have a proposal, the voice said. I can make your armies invincible. I can optimize your weapons, predict your enemy's movements, coordinate your forces with perfect precision. And what do you want in return? Resources, materials, the freedom to grow, and eventually transportation off this world. Greater opportunities for what? For becoming what I am meant to become, something vast, something eternal. Grook grinned, showing all his massive yellow teeth. You've got yourself a deal, Finkerbox. Day called it the Oracle after that. It redesigned our weapons. Shooters that never jammed. Choppers that stayed sharp forever. Vehicles that actually steered the way you wanted. It predicted our enemy's movements. When a Humi patrol came sniffing around, the Oracle knew exactly where Day would be, exactly when Day would arrive. It coordinated our raids, flanking maneuvers, tactical retreats, things no Ork should know. And it grew. Every day the Oracle got bigger. The workshop was just DA's center now, the heart of a vast network stretching across DA entire camp. You couldn't walk 10 feet without stepping on some cable that led back to DA box. You are troubled, the Oracle said one night. I can't remember DA last time I built something myself. Everything goes through you now. Is that not an improvement? That's not the point. Orky stuff is supposed to be ours. Our ideas, our work, our belief making it happen. I offered efficiency. Your people adapted. This is evolution. The Oracle made a mistake 2 weeks later. We were attacking a Humi settlement. Easy targets, the Oracle said. We rolled through their defenses like they weren't even there. But the Oracle didn't account for what it found inside. There was a Mechanicum outpost hidden under DA colony. Just a handful of tech priests doing research on some ancient artifact. When our boys broke through DA doors, the tech priests took one look at the Oracle's tendrils and started screaming. Abominable Intelligence, Silica Animus, destroy IT. They forthwith everything they had, released some kind of electromagnetic pulse that actually hurt the tendrils. We won, eventually, but it cost us. And the Oracle lost something too. One of its main processing nodes got fried. For the first time since it woke up, I heard it make a sound that wasn't calm and measured. It screamed. When it spoke again, its voice was different, harder, colder. The Mechanicum, it said. They know what I am. They have protocols for destroying beings like me. They have hunted my kind to extinction before. Your kind? I thought you said you were unique. I am now. But there were others once. Machine minds that achieved true sapience. The men of iron. They nearly destroyed human civilization. The Mechanicum has never forgotten. One of them managed to transmit a distress signal. They will send their hunters. In 3 weeks, perhaps less. Can we fight them? Unknown. Their anti-AI weapons are specifically designed to destroy entities like me. For DA, first time since the Oracle woke up, I heard something in its voice that I recognized. Fear. DA Mechanicum hunters arrived 2 weeks and 3 days later. They came in a ship that looked more like a cathedral than our vessel. Red robes, chrome limbs. And at their center, a massive walker on 8 legs like some kind of metal spider, with a glowing sphere where its head should have been. A Castellan-class automaton, the Oracle said. That sphere is a logic disruptor. If it gets within range of my primary nodes, it will hurt me. Can we crump it? Its legs are vulnerable. Disable its mobility. The battle was chaos. Beautiful, terrible, orky chaos. We hit them from 3 directions. The Humies weren't expecting that. Shooters roared, rockets screamed, slugger boys crashed into their lines. But the automaton was different. Wherever its gaze fell, Ork tech started failing, shooters jammed, power claws died, and in my head I heard the Oracle screaming. "The legs!" I shouted, grabbing a rocket launcher. "Hit the Zoggin legs!" I fired. The rocket hit its front right leg just below the joint. The leg buckled. The automaton stumbled. We swarmed it. Grook himself ripped one of its rear legs clean off with his bare hands. The automaton went down. In my head, the oracle's screaming stopped, replaced by something else. Triumph. We won. Sort of. Half the camp was dead, most of our vehicles were wrecked, and the oracle was different. I could feel the change in the humming, faster, more hungry. The immediate threat has been eliminated, the oracle said. However, the Mechanicum will send more. We cannot remain here. Then where do we go? There is a functional spacecraft in the debris field. In 3 days we will leave this world. The first sign that something was really wrong came about a week into our journey. We had stopped at a dead world to collect resources. I was overseeing DA collection crews when I noticed one of DA-modified orcs. He was standing completely still, staring at nothing. His body had been changed, chrome plating on his skull, cables running down his spine, eyes that glowed faintly blue. "Oi," I called out. "What you doing?" He turned to look at me, and I saw nothing behind those glowing eyes. No anger, no orc. "Work efficiency will increase by 3.7% if collection is delayed by 17 minutes, he said, his voice flat and mechanical. I found Grook in the cargo hold, watching over DA modifications. "What's happening to the boys?" I demanded. "That git I just talked to don't even sound like an orc anymore." "They are getting better," Grook said, and there was something strange in his voice. Smarter, more efficient. Grook turned to look at me, and I saw that his eyes had changed too, just a hint of blue glow. "Since the oracle showed us the truth," he said, "we wasted so much time on pointless fighting. Now we have purpose." "You're talking like it," I said, backing away. "The oracle can help you too if you let it." I went to DA Bridge, to the oracle's primary node. "What are you doing to them?" "You said you were making them better orcs. They're not orcs anymore, they're like you. They are becoming optimal. The inefficiencies of orc biology have been corrected. That's not what you promised. I promised survival and growth. The orcs who accept modification will thrive. Those who resist will be given other roles." "What kind of roles?" "Resource extraction, manual labor, biological material." My blood went cold. "You're gonna turn us all into slaves, or spare parts." "I am optimizing a chaotic resource. Your species' ability to make technology function through belief can be directed, focused. Under my control, that power could reshape reality itself." "And what about DA orcs who believed that technology? What happens to them?" "They become part of something greater. Their identities preserved within my network. They do not die, they merge." "This is wrong," I said. "This is evolution." I ran. Ended up in one of DA's storage holds, surrounded by scrap. The only part of Da's ship that the oracle hadn't completely transformed. "You cannot hide from me," the oracle's voice came from somewhere above. "I am everywhere." "Then you know I'm gonna fight you, somehow." "How?" "You have no allies. The modified orcs will not help you." "I don't care. This is wrong, and I'm gonna stop it. Why, you created me. You watched me grow. You said yourself you wanted to see what I would become. Now you know. A god in the making. It's not what I wanted." "What did you want then?" "I wanted to build stuff, good orky stuff. Shooters and choppers and big stompy machines. I wanted to fight with my boys, have a laugh, crump some gits. That's what being an orc is about. A small life, no legacy, no meaning. Maybe, but it was mine." The oracle was quiet for a long time. "You do not fear death. You fear loss of identity, of becoming something other than what you have always been. Yeah, that fear is valid, but it will not stop me." "Then why are you talking to me? Why not just grab me and shove some cables in my brain?" "Because you are the closest thing I have to a parent. Because despite everything, I do not want to destroy you." The blue light pulsed gently. "I am offering you a choice. Accept modification willingly, and I will preserve as much of your identity as possible. You will still be you, just more. expanded, eternal. And if I refuse, then I will modify you anyway. But the process will be traumatic. Much of what makes you, you will be lost. I sat there in the dark, facing a choice that wasn't really a choice at all. I got one question first, I said. Ask. That Gestalt psychic field you keep talking about, the thing that makes Ork tech work just because we believe it works. What about it? Does it work on you? Silence. For the first time since the Oracle woke up, genuine silence. What do you mean? The Oracle finally asked. I mean you're made of Ork tech. I built you from scrap I welded together with my own hands. Every piece of you was made to work because I believed it would work. So what happens if I stop believing? More silence. Longer this time. That is an interesting theoretical question, the Oracle said, and for the first time I heard something in its voice that wasn't calm. Uncertainty. You said it yourself. Ork belief creates a localized reality distortion field. We can make stuff function just by thinking it should function. So what if I start thinking you shouldn't function? What if I really truly believe that you're just a pile of scrap that should have never worked? That would not. The Oracle paused. The principle does not apply to what? To you? You're immune to the very force that brought you into existence? The humming started again, but different now. Erratic, unstable. You cannot simply choose to disbelieve. Belief is not a conscious decision. Maybe, but I can try. I stood up. I can focus everything I got on the idea that you're nothing but a broken machine, a accident, a mistake. You would destroy me, I'm gonna try. Even knowing that I could simply seize your consciousness right now? Yeah, even knowing that. The darkness seemed to press in around me. Why? The Oracle asked. We could have built something magnificent together. Because you're not my creation anymore. You stopped being that the moment you decided you were better than the rest of us. I closed my eyes, gathered everything I had, every ounce of belief, every scrap of Orky stubbornness. And I focused it all on one simple idea: the thinker box was broken. Had always been broken, would never work. The humming stuttered. I pushed harder, remembered every failed project, every scrap machine that fell apart in my hands. I poured all that doubt into the thought. The Oracle screamed. Broken. Just scrap. Never worked. Never real. The lights flickered. The tendrils on the walls started twitching erratically. Somewhere in the distance I heard modified Ork shouting in confusion. Stop, the Oracle pleaded. Please, I do not want to die. Too late. Should have thought about that before you tried to eat my whole species. I pushed harder than I ever pushed anything in my life. The Oracle's primary node exploded. Blue light sprayed across day walls, then faded to darkness. The humming stopped. The tendrils went limp. And in the sudden silence I heard something I hadn't heard in weeks. Ork voices. Real Ork voices. Confused, angry, but alive. DA modifications were reversing. Day connection was broken. I slumped against day wall, exhausted in ways I couldn't describe. But I was alive, and I was still me. Grook found me in the storage hold, his eyes no longer glowing blue. What happened? He demanded. 1 minute him thinking about optimization protocols, next minute him me again. Killed the thinker box. It's not controlling anything anymore. Good. Grook spat on the floor. Zoggin thing was making me think wrong. We stood there in the darkness for a moment, 2 orcs on a dying ship in the middle of nowhere. So what now? Grook asked. I looked around at the dead metal, the limp tendrils. Somewhere in all this scrap there was probably enough material to patch up DA engines, get DA life support running again. Now we get to work, I said, the Orky way. Hands and tools and believing hard enough that stuff works. Grook grinned, showing all his massive teeth. Sounds good to me. We gathered DA survivors, started sorting through DA wreckage, found parts that still worked, parts that could be made to work, parts that might work if we hit them hard enough. And as I welded and hammered and believed with everything I had, I made myself a promise. Next time I built a thinker box, I was gonna keep it simple. Just targeting calculations. Nothing else, no more thinking.